Have some faders in your artist mix gone bad, shaking erratically, or just not moving where they're supposed to? If you know your way around a soldering iron, you can replace the faders yourself. And the best part is, the replacement faders don't even cost a lot of money. I bought mine on German eBay for 21 euros a piece. So let's do this. In this unit, fader 8, 3 and 1 need replacing. Let's take this thing apart, side pieces first. Now let's remove the fader and pan knobs. If you've never removed the pan pots before, they will be stuck really tight. So here's a trick to remove them without scratching them with a pair of pliers or something. Stick 2 guitar picks under them from both sides and then push them up. Once you've got them loose, you can remove them quite easily. Let's remove the back plate. The circuit board is basically enclosed in a bottom and top metal tray. They are really thin and delicate, so I also use my guitar pick to take them apart. In order to detach the faceplate, you have to remove those 16 Allen screws that hold the faders in place, and all the bigger Phillips screws on the other side. There are 9 of them. Make sure you remove them all. Some of them are easy to miss. Once those fat Phillips screws are removed, you can gently take off the faceplate. At this point, the first rubber buttons will start falling out. Most of them are still held in place by the top tray, but make sure you don't drop them and put them somewhere safe. This goes for all loose parts, by the way. I use a different espresso cup for each kind of different screw, for example. It makes it so much easier when you put it back together. Before we can remove all those loose rubber buttons, we have to unsolder the top tray from the circuit board in 4 spots. Be super careful when bending up these little clips. I'm using a mini screwdriver, but it's tricky. Sometimes when the solder won't come off okay, it can help to add fresh solder and then remove that. Make sure you bend the clips up far enough, so the circuit board can slide up. Same thing on the other side. Okay, we got all the clips loose. Now let's gently remove the circuit board and collect the rubber buttons. Before you start pulling the bad faders out, mark them with tape from both sides, so you can be really sure you're pulling out the right ones. Unsoldering the 3 cables is easy, but unsoldering those 4 pins and actually pulling the fader out, that's a little bit more difficult. What worked for me was that I first unsolder all 4 of them as good as I can, and then I'm pulling the fader up while I'm heating up the fat pin. Make sure to pull gently, don't use a lot of force. Go nice and slow. Next, you heat up the 3 thin pins simultaneously while jiggling the fader back and forth. And voila, it's done. Now before you put the new fader in, make sure there's no more solder stuck in the holes of the circuit board. Also, you have to prep the new fader a bit. The fat pin is too bent, you have to make it a little bit more straight. Otherwise it won't go in the circuit board all the way. But the first step before you actually put it in should be to attach the white cable first, because otherwise that solder point is almost impossible to reach. And then you stick the 4 pins of the fader into the circuit board. Make sure it's completely flush with the circuit board, just like the other faders. Also make sure it's completely parallel. Resolder the fat pin first. Make sure the fader position is perfect. And then solder the 3 pins. And now the 2 red cables. And move on to the next fader and repeat. All 3 faders are in place, everything looks really even. Now, before we put everything back together, let's give it a test run. I put the power button in its place so I can turn the thing on. I noticed right away that the new faders react a little differently. When the old ones flip to unity, they do it abruptly, like these ones. And the new ones slow down before they stop, like this one. That might not be a bad thing. That's less noisy, and maybe it'll make them last longer. Let's put the rubber buttons back in place and close this whole thing up. Now, before putting everything back together, make sure to bend the little clips in the tray a little bit outward, otherwise it's gonna be way difficult. Lay the tray on top of the circuit board, put the faceplate on top, and wiggle it back and forth a little bit, making sure that the rubber buttons are all poking through the holes and everything's in place. The screws of the faders were really dirty, so I gave them a good clean. I decided to clean the screw holes too, which turned out to be not such a great idea. My cleaning oil removed the dirt, but it left behind some oily stains. If your Artist Mix still has this nice matte finish, then maybe don't do that. When you put the screws for the faders back in, don't tighten them right away. Only when they're all in, give it one more round and tighten them. Fitting the metal tray back on the circuit board is pretty tricky. When you use an X-Acto knife, be really careful not to touch any components, so you don't damage anything. Bend the clips of the tray back in place. Also on the other side. And solder them back on. Again, first put the screws in loosely. Once they're all in place, give it one more round and tighten them. Don't make them stupid tight, just tight. Putting the back tray on, that's the last kind of difficult task. Make sure those clips on the side go where they're supposed to. As you're adding back each part, make sure to jiggle it a little back and forth to make sure it's in exactly the right position before you fasten the screws. And that's it. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. I was actually really hesitant to do this repair myself at first. About a year ago I started to open my Artist Mix and closed it right back up. But now I gave it another shot, and I'm so glad I don't have to ditch my Artist Mix just yet. Let's check the faders one more time with sound. Yeah, it seems like they're even a bit quieter than the originals. Who would have thought? We got 8 fully functional faders again, and I'm excited to go back to mixing.